So naturally, this stream won't go too long because Nick is going to be doing his show shortly. I probably got about an hour until he goes live, but this is just the appetizer because the main course will be tonight. That is, if we can reach our dono goal. And I've got something that I've been planning for a little while now, and I think now is a good time to do it. I think it's time for another IRL stream, downtown Phoenix, and got a special guest. She, I don't know if you guys know her, if you watch the Whatever podcast, but I'm gonna have a co-host for the IRL stream tonight, and I'm hitting up the rest of the Nationals Network goons for our security detail tonight, because there's going to be a lot of people downtown Phoenix, a lot of girls, a lot of content. So yeah, I think tonight might be a legendary stream, but we're going to need some love from you guys because gas ain't cheap, especially my truck. So if you want to send a super chat, I saw a guy in the chat was asking that. It's powerchat.live/CultureWarCriminal, the link right here. You could also send something on Cash App, $CultureWarCriminal. Buy your Culture War bonds. Can't do without you. But yeah, just send in some music, some background music while I talk about what's happening, because there's also a lot of good news items to talk about as well.
Alco sent $10 IRL stream. IRL stream. IRL stream. IRL stream.
Exactly. We're already 10% of the way to the goal. Thank you, Outsell King.
Phil sent $5. Hello, comrade. W stream.
Hey, Phil. Thank you. I appreciate it. What the heck is this? What the heck? What is this? Can't find in Cash App? $CultureWarCriminal? You know, you're not the first one to have that problem. I think they are like hiding my Cash App or something like that. Well, Power Chat's the better way because you can send a message and you can pick a song. You can put a YouTube link in the Power Chat. It's kind of like a jukebox. So, and you don't need an account. You just put in your info there. Wow, 103 people watching. Not bad. Bro, what is this video you sent me? Oh, brother. Oh, brother. Anyways, we've got a few stories tonight. We're going to talk about the ongoing uprising in the United Kingdom as a result of the savage stabbing of those 3 white girls by a Rwandan immigrant in Wales, or rather in Southport. The riots have spread and they're now in another town. Police station's on fire. And more information has come out about the killer. So lots going on. Very exciting stuff, though, I will say. Sunderland, which is north of Southport, is where the rioting is now spreading. So very interesting. Yeah, bro, what is this fur fag stuff? I need a... I don't want people to get the wrong idea tuning into my stream. We're also going to talk about a certain immigration attorney who is pissed off. He's seething pretty hard on the timeline. He's scared. And we're going to talk about white dudes for Kamala and the implications of that. Bro, this is crazy. This is insane. What the hell is this, dude? Is that like Balto? Balto but gay? Balto more like homo. Wow, childhood ruined. Thanks, Phil. All right, so why don't we just dive into the most exciting story? And maybe I'm going to turn the video. Why are they rioting? Because 3 white girls were stabbed by a foreigner. And for days, because this happened on Monday, 3 little girls were at a dance hall dancing to Taylor Swift music. And this guy ran in and started stabbing people. Started stabbing little girls. He stabbed like 10 of them. 3 have died. And they wouldn't say the name of the guy. Turns out he was 17 and his parents were Rwandan. But people were like, well, he's not a Rwandan. He's British because he was born in Wales. Obviously, we know that is not true. But they did release the name and identity of the suspect. And despite the fact that mosques were being targeted, people were talking about, Islam being the problem. The guy is a Christian. He's a Christian from a Catholic country. So that dispels this false framing of the immigration crisis as a matter of religion. And that's something I posted the other day because I think the Christian nationalist angle is a cop-out, framing it as an issue of Islam. It's not. It's the issue of race. So, like, who would you rather live next to? A Rwandan Christian or a white pagan? I would pick the white pagan 100 times out of 100. And I don't even know why that would be a controversial take in these circles, but whatever. Now, ideally, it would be white Christians, but, white pagan any day. Karasu says his dad might be a war criminal that was given asylum. That would be Keck. Is he a Hutu or a Tutsi? That's what I want to know. This sounds like Hutu behavior. All right, let's pull up that footage. Sunderland. Got to find the Sunderland riot. Okay, excellent. Great White Chimp out. This is awesome. Let me pull up the window. Hold up. All right. Dude, this is what y'all came here for, obviously. Look at this. Fire extinguishers being used to cover riot shields, making them useless and ineffective. This is a good tactic. And this is reminiscent of the tactics used in Hong Kong with the paint. Because you're forcing them to, they can't look through their shields, which are plexiglass, and you're covering their visors. So once again, Europeans are so much better at rioting than Americans are. they're creative. I guess people are looting shops or looting a vape shop. Let's go. So yeah, the riots seem to be spreading.
I'll stand here.
Look at that.
Phil sent $5, please, bro. Turn TS all the way up.
Bro, what is this? Wow, awesome. Thank you, Phil.
There's a few thousand people on the Sunderland march. Stop mass immigration.
I'm thinking we're back. Yo, they're burning police stations. Look at this. That's epic. Yeah, so everyone that's been shitting on the white working class and hillbillies, rednecks, and all that, this is the kind of people that do this. So everyone that's trying to be an elitist, let this be a teachable moment. I once again vindicated. We love our urban poor whites. What poor white trash, they call them. But the working class are the ones that do this. Do you really think a bunch of soft, middle class Zoomers are going to have the balls to do something like this? Of course not. That's based. When has any right-wing group burned police stations before? This looks like a mini. This is like a revolution starting. Especially when they're going after a police station, burning police cars. Archaeology Groiper says, wear masks if there's any bongs in chat thinking of joining in. Great Britain announced they are using facial recognition software. Yeah, wear a mask, leave your phone at home. Maybe wear 2 masks, honestly, because sometimes if you wear a thin enough mask, the shape of your face can still be seen through the mask. $1,000 when I get my tip on. That's epic. This isn't the energy we need. But see, this kind of mobilization is only possible in a city. In a city, like suburbs cannot do this. This is why it's important for us to take and hold cities, because these are communities where everyone is close together. You can mobilize people easily, and there's a sense of community to organize. Karasu says current area is just 81% white. Stop running away. Because if you're running away, you're going to move to a community of people that run away. Whereas if you are in a rapidly you're in a white community that's being rapidly outnumbered, the people there are going to increasingly be the diehards that are stubborn. They're like, we're not leaving. Makasia Jackson says, I did storm the Capitol. What's one race riot going to do? Well, this is the second race riot in a city, in a separate town from the one the other day. So it's spreading. Hell yeah, dude.
What you doing?
Puppy Hitler says we need to put crazy hillbillies in cities. Yeah, exactly. We need to be doing a reconquista of our cities. That's what we need to do. Everyone always says conservatives are the silent majority and we control the countryside. Yeah, we need to start busing people. We need to be busing people into the cities like the left does. They bus their city people into the suburbs, like in Kenosha. We need to be going to the cities. This is epic. But let's go, guys. We're 20% of the way to the goal for the IRL stream. Let's keep the song requests going. powerchat.live/CultureWarCriminal. Let's keep the vibes up and the energy up because tonight's going to be a very, very fun stream. If we reach the goal. Don't think I'm going to go easy on you guys. Phil says burning a police station is cringe. What happened to Back the Blue? Well, the police are cringe. The police are the only thing stopping us from taking our countries back. You realize that, right? Because the left are subhuman. They're weaklings. We know what Antifa looks like. They're physically weak. They're dysgenic. And they are inferior to us. And they would not be able to stop us. If push came to shove, the left wouldn't be able to stop us. It's the police, law enforcement. They're the only thing keeping this whole thing together. Same with the Republican Party. If the Republican Party did not exist to be a pressure release valve for right-wing anger, because the only reason we elected Trump is people are angry about our country being overtaken. They are angry about our borders being wide open. They are angry about our government using our tax dollars to feed, house, and import the foreigner.
Rowhouse sent $15. Nigel Farage in the UK. Ryan.
Hey, thank you, Rowhouse. You know, I was at a bar with Farage beginning of this year in DC, actually.
I think
nice guy.
The truth, had they known that this was not somebody, as was
UKIP has been posting insane cringe
the
though.
English Channel in a dinghy in October 2023, we might not have had riots on that scale in Southport last night.
Well, firstly,
but thank you for the very generous super chat, Rowhouse. Thank you so much.
My stall, and I'll be grateful to hear your thoughts.
Already over a third of the way to the goal now.
Indeed, off air as well. There's much that we're aligned on, as you suggest, not least UK defence and security. Where we've disagreed, we've done so with respect. You know, without the conversation heading south, as so often political discourse descends these days. And where there's a difference of opinion, it's in that spirit of keeping the bar high. I hope we can have.
Carson said, "I used to holiday in his constituency as a child."
I join you today. On this, I think
Clacton on Sea.
We need to begin by recognizing the loss of life here. That's where our first thoughts should be, with the 3 that have been killed and the others that have been injured. But as you said in your introduction, there's now a wider community suffering, and not just struggling and coming to terms with this horrible attack, but the subsequent orchestrated, sickening, violent riots that's taken place, leaving police officers injured, some of them very, very seriously indeed. And it is those false claims, the disinformation, which you quite rightly point out, on the internet, whipping up that frenzy of hate, spreading disinformation, encouraging the English Defence League, who's rallied its supporters with the sole intent of stirring up hate and seeking to divide. And it's this incident which raises so many, if we're going to prevent this from happening in the future, the speed in which fake news went from swirling around online to the violence offline. The failure of Twitter, also, that you should be aware that speculation was going to rise. Why didn't they properly police the platform? And then, this has come to you, sir, the role of influential voices such as yours And my humble request is to recognize what you say matters. You, sir, have a reach and an influence well beyond most MPs. People listen to you. They form their views by what you say. It's one thing to affect and disrupt mainstream thinking, as you've done very effectively over the last decade or so, or longer in political matters. But I respectfully ask you to recognize that when it comes to matters of security and indeed terrorism, because that's the word you use, something that's directly affected my life, that those with a public profile do need to be aware of how their words could be taken out of context, especially when it comes relating to terrorism, not least Islamic extremism. That's simply my position, which I hope you would agree or at least understand.
Yeah, I mean, the EDL element of it, I'm sure there were some EDL activists that came in from other parts of the Northwest. Also true to say that most people on those streets last night did actually live in Southport. To listen to...
Okay, why is there a Sunderland?
Everybody had been shipped in from sort of outer space, which clearly wasn't true, and the arrests...
Wait, where is Sunderland? Am I looking at the wrong place?
Tobias, I would argue this.
Because there's Sunderland on the western... Well, wait, how many Sunderlands are there? What the hell?
Answered clearly, we would have ended much of that false, fake news speculation that was going on
Multiple
social media.
Sunderlands.
And
North
there was a
Sunderland.
deep sense of unease in this country.
And then there's one on the east.
Wrong.
Okay, so it's the one on the east of the country, right? Not the other one, right?
And that makes it more complicated.
It's in the northeast. Okay.
I do get that.
And what
I think it's reasonable that I ask those questions, and I don't believe anything I did.
is it in Northumberland?
Disorder. In fact,
Which region of the?
Clearly, the riots would have been smaller.
Well, you touched on something absolutely fundamental to our law. It would have been illegal to actually spell out the circumstances, given that this was a minor, a 17-year-old. Now, maybe that's a question that now needs to be deliberated, but that's for you to take to the Home Affairs Committee or raise in Parliament. My concern is that you are now a political leader. You're in Parliament itself, regardless of party. I hope that you'd always put the country's interests first, because has this been good for Britain, what happened last night? It's very easy to play on people's anxieties, on their anger, their frustrations. And there's much to be concerned about. You and I.
For the left says, I support whites rioting. Yeah.
Why we're not doing enough.
Exactly.
Parliament must look for solutions, and parliamentarians must offer the wisdom and the leadership.
Well, the thing about rioting is
I will agree.
It only works if you have support in the community.
In Bournemouth here, where a couple of people lost their lives because of a freak wave that came through and they drowned. The speculation that came through that it was to do with one of the boats, the big boats that operate in this area. The boat operator lost his job because of it. It had nothing to do with it. But the police were very slow in providing information.
No, the truth matters. The truth matters.
The speculation to go overboard, it really did. From there, I do absolutely agree with you. I simply plea with you that
Let's get some white riot music.
Particularly on terrorism, that I lost my brother in the bar.
What's that song by The Prodigy?
That I've been affected by terrorism.
Invaders must die.
In my life. So when people use that word, and it's right, it's still there. We've got ISIS-K that's going to grow larger than Al-Qaeda. What are we doing about it? These are important questions that you and I...
But see, why is he making it about Islam? It's not about Islam. It's about race. People are so afraid to talk about race, though. It's not because they're not necessarily... It's not necessarily because they're not Christian. Or it's not just because a lot of these foreigners are foreign culturally. They're foreign racially. They're from a different civilization.
I thank you for coming on the program.
And it's because these people are more violent. I don't care if he's a trad cath from Rwanda. I don't want 1 million Catholics from Rwanda moving into the UK or here. It's because they are not us. That's why. I mean, I'm not British. So if 1 million Spaniards or a million Americans started moving in, it would change the country. And I'm tired of our leaders cucking out constantly. But at the same time, yeah, of course they're not going to endorse rioting. But they need to be saying stuff like what the left does. Well, rioting's bad, but, rioting is the voice of the unheard. Hell yeah, Row House.
Row House sent $10. Some fight music Ryan.
Let's go. Thank you. 45% of the way to the goal. Let's go.
Intention to do harm with a prosthetic arm and smelling like Boone's Farm. Hiding in the tables as soon as I hear alarms. Paranoid deep that it's still from his own mom. Conniving con, artist with a bomb. Strapped to my stomach screaming. A lust that love to drink. Drunk driving a tank. Rolling over a bank. Cops see me in bank. It's drastic. I'm past my limit of coke. I think I up my high by slitting your throat. Put your baby carriage into the street till it's miss me. You miss been beat the minute I step on your street. This is fight music.
You know why my hands are so numb? No. My grandmother sucked my dick and I didn't come. Smacked this whore for talking crap. So what if she's handicapped? The bitch said Bizarre couldn't rap. I fucking hate you. Take your
I'm just looking at that. I'm gonna add this to my drafts. What I was typing. I'll finish it later. But I'm looking at this tweet of these guys kicking the police shields here. See, this is what they're afraid of. A bunch of white men angry, right-wingers pissed off. And look, it's all men at the front. They have masks on, and they're fucking pissed off. Compare this to what conservatives think a protest is in the United States, where it's like mostly women. Everyone's old. And they're all holding signs, they're waving flags, and it's like a celebration. A protest is not supposed to be a parade. It's not supposed to be a happy celebration. These people are fucking angry. But the biggest tell that this is different is it's all young or middle-aged, fighting-age men, and they're angry. And there's no old women in the front. Conservatives like to go, woo, and wave their flags. It's so cringe. They would just shoot you here, though. I mean, they shot people in the Boston Massacre. But yeah, that would be the best. Well, that's why you need to have women in the crowd too. Would they shoot if there's old ladies in the crowd also mixed in? Because that would be the worst thing for them. You realize that's how a revolution starts, right? People chimp out. Like, think about the fall of communism. You don't think the police in like Romania would shoot you when they were protesting? Of course they would. But that's like the end game of a revolution. Yeah, people are gonna get shot. Don't be a pussy about it. Look at Ukraine. Old lady meat shields, exactly. That would be the absolute worst optics if they're like shooting women. Like, look at what happened after Ashley Babbitt. Top Zoomer says, why fight for what you believe if you're not ready to die for it? Yeah, exactly. But anyways, the thing about violence is people like to moralize it. The reason I oppose violence is it's not, like, in 99% of cases, it is not strategically good. It's bad optics. And it can cause the enemy to react. And you can also be giving them what they want, in some cases. But a lot of conservatives have internalized this sort of pacifism that is very leftist, where they think violence is morally wrong all the time. That they think that, like, it's always morally wrong to cause civil unrest or inconvenience anybody. But that is like a very hippie way of looking at the world. And that it's very un-American too, because this country was founded because people were chimping out at the British. They were rioting. The British fired into the crowd with the Boston Massacre. And obviously that spiraled. But at the same time, like, look at the situation in the UK. There is no chance in the UK. I'm just going to make this claim as a foreigner because I'm not emotionally invested in any of the parties. There is no way the UK, the right wing in the UK, is somehow going to elect. They're going to elect a right wing, one of these right wing parties in the UK, and they're going to somehow deport all these people. That they're going to take care of the demographic crisis in that country. There is no way. Because in the United States, at least the Republican Party, as flawed as the GOP is, they're saying that they want to do mass deportations, which that is an actionable solution that could actually save us demographically. Do we think they're actually going to do it? No, but that's being normalized. There's a path to that happening. In the UK, there's no way that any of these right-wing parties are ever going to solve the problem. So maintaining the status quo, maintaining optics, like the UK is on a path to destruction already. They're already in the process of being destroyed. They already are being oppressed by the government, and you go to prison if you speak out against it. So what incentive is there to maintain the current status quo there beyond selfish intentions? Like, oh, I don't want to go to prison. I don't want to die. I don't want to lose what I have. That's slavery. So I don't see an argument really against wanting there to be more destabilization in the UK because the current situation is bad. And honestly, seeing this many people fucking angry about immigration is good because it's going to show more people that they're not alone. Because the politicians don't speak to that anger. Tommy Robinson is a Zionist shill. UKIP is... UKIP posted something, I think it was UKIP or was it Reform, one of these parties, they posted, and they're like, they posted a picture of the Auschwitz fence, and they're like, we reject ethno-nationalism and the far right, with like the background being like the Auschwitz barbed wire fence. I'm like, really? So that just shows that these parties are dead on arrival. And what happened to Brexit? They didn't even leave the UK. So the people voted for Brexit and nothing happened. So BLM showed that, you know, civil disorder gets results. When has a peaceful protest ever changed anything? A peaceful protests only serve a limited number of purposes. But protesting in and of itself does not actually change anything. Peaceful protests, first off, we need to actually analyze what the word peaceful means. Peaceful does not equal nonviolent. You can have a nonviolent protest that is not peaceful. You can protest, you can have civil disobedience, civil unrest without hurting people. You can focus on property or shutting down the city because blocking traffic isn't peaceful. But protesters can make a city grind to a halt. You can bring the system to its knees by blockading major highways, by cutting off a city. Look what they did in the UK or in Canada. They shut down cities. They shut down ports of entry with the U.S. and they caused massive economic damage. That was not peaceful, but yet that was the most effective thing the Canadians have done in like 50 years, probably.